Hey folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. So last week I was working on air conditioning, and yeah buddy, the shop is very nice right now. I didn't film any of that, I just did that. Kind of a pain. There's a couple things I'd do different if I was to do another split unit, but well worth it. It is a very cool 71 degrees here in the shop. Awesome. It's mid 80s outside, so it's and it's not humid and just stuffy. So anyways, back to what we were talking about a second ago, or what I was actually going to start talking about. New daily driver. So it's here, and man alive, I'm pretty pumped. You know, I took a risk on this guy. I'll just kind of give a little backstory on what all happened here before we walk outside and I show you the truck, because I just got done washing it an hour ago or so. So quick little story on this guy is this truck, it's a 1998 GMC 1500 or K1500, whatever. It's four-wheel drive, Z71 package, extra cab. I love it. It's awesome. It is a one owner California truck, so there's virtually no rust. I did find one little spot of rust up on the windshield, top of the windshield. No big deal there. But this thing is loaded. I think they basically took the little order sheet and just said yes. So we'll start walking out that way, but it's a 350 truck, of course 98, it's fuel injected. Like I said, Z71 package. It's got leather interior. The front seats have been recovered, because everybody knows GM seats from that era, they last a long time, but my God, they look rough. So anyways, prepare yourselves, because this is going to make a lot of people jealous, I guarantee it. But yeah, here's my new daily. So like I said, 98. It is the GMC. A couple little vernaculars I've heard for the GMC is gooder made Chevy, generic made Chevy, and probably my personal favorite, the gay made Chevy, because you know it is Pride Month. Anyways, but yeah, here she is. So we've got I believe this is I can't remember, I think it's Admiral Blue on top of this beige, which just is beautiful. Of course, Z71 package, and you can see this truck wasn't just like babied. It's got little scratches here and there down the bed sides. I'm going to try to address some of these and clean them up best I can. Some of this stuff will buff out, some of it won't. We got a couple good scratches on tailgate. Nothing terrible, but again, I'll try to clean some of this up and put some touch up on it. Many moons ago, I did touch up work. My dad owned a touch up automotive touch up company, and I worked for him for, I don't know, a number of years. So you know, should be able to get that handled pretty good. But yeah, I didn't know when I bought this thing that it's got brand new tires. So brand spanking new BF Goodrich all-terrains. Yeah, it's just slick, man. It is clean as a pin. Being a California truck, there's no rust underneath. Typical GM stuff though, it does have a couple oil leaks, pretty standard. That's how you know it's got oil in it, is it's leaking. Somebody's come along and replaced it with the crystal lenses for the signals and the headlights, which I agree with that. Totally cool. I would have gone probably the same route. That looks really good on here. Probably the biggest problem with the whole truck is the clear coat, where it started to bake off. You know, this era GM, they all did this. So so the clear's baked off in a lot of spots on the hood. I don't know if it was the previous owner or the company that I bought the truck from, but this part where the clear is burned off, they they've gone through and done some buffing on it, maybe even some wet sanding, kind of like what I did with Little John. And I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but you can kind of see right along these tall edges, like right in here is really bad. They've dang near buffed through the paint. So there's very little paint left on that portion of the hood. The roof's very similar. There's a couple little dings in the roof as well, but it's up there. I don't see that every day. But yeah, the clear's peeling on the roof as well. So I'm gonna try to do something to clean this up. The unfortunate thing is with this clear coat is it's not like Little John's where it's just peeling. This stuff is milked up and it's turned white. So really the only way to get this gone is to come back and hit this, trying to get where the sun's not glaring on it. There we go. Try to come back and wet sand this clear where it's milky. Try to get that wet sanded down to where basically the clear is gone at that point. So I'd have to go around this entire area where it's really, really bad and try to wet sand that milky crap off of there. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to do today, is try to get that done. And then I picked up some Poppy's patina, the wipe on clear coat. I'm not ready to do paint work on this truck. If it's going to go get, you know, the hood and the roof painted, I'm probably going to go ahead and have them just paint the whole damn thing. Take it all the way down, do it right. Yeah, like I'm going to spend that kind of money. But in all reality, I could take this guy and just take the hood and go have it shot, and it'd probably be just fine because you can barely see the roof. You know, and I could do what I can do on the roof and make it, you know, good enough for now. So that's still an option. If this doesn't clean up on the hood, if I can't get this clean up worth the crap, I may go ahead and take the hood to a body shop, just have them go ahead and get this paint code and take it down to metal, and then come back, sand it, you know, prime it, sand it, shoot it, and clear it, and go ahead and just have it all done. That's a maybe though. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully I don't have to do that, but yeah, we'll see. So the only body damage that's on this truck, like damage, is this little corner right here. You can kind of see, maybe, you can see some little dimples. You can see where the paint's cracked up. Let's see, maybe that helps. But they had a paintless dent guy come in here and work this dent out. This thing, it looked like a golf ball just jammed in it. So they did an okay job on that, and that's a hard spot to get out because it's right on this corner. That's really going to be tough to work out. And then right in here, right here on the extra cab portion of the driver's side, in some angles you can kind of see it, some angles you can't, but apparently it was caved in somewhere up in here, down in through here, and then down into this area. So again, the paintless dent guy, I can see his dimple work right in here, where the paintless dent guy came in there. Maybe you can see it there, but again, that could have been done better. Now, I'm not a paintless dent guy. I've seen them work before, and I used to, you know, work with those guys, kinda. They would do PDR stuff, and then I'd do paint touch-up stuff afterwards. But that's pretty sloppy. That probably could have been done a little bit better. But yeah, so this spot right here, on this spot of the truck that's been worked out with no actual body work or paint work, this was a wreck that apparently the owner had insurance totaled the truck out. Yeah, they totaled this truck. They totaled it. So salvage title it got and sent off, and it's kind of passed hands through a couple different auction companies. The one that I picked it up from was out of Missouri. Yeah, so it's got a rebuilt title. Can you believe a rebuilt title? And I've gone over this thing with a fine-tooth comb. There is no paint work done on this truck. It's all factory paint. So it hasn't had a lick of actual body work done other than the paintless dent guy working down here. So yeah, rebuilt title. What the hell? But wait, it gets better. Much better. We're gonna look inside this guy. Now, again, gonna make some of y'all really, really jealous right about now. But interior's all original, minus the front 2 seats. Like I said, it's had covers put on the front seats because standard GM issue, the leather just cracks, splits, and it just looks like, you know, hot dog crap. So anyways, yeah, here's the interior. Are you freaking kidding me? It is so clean. Don't mind that I was using that one when I was out washing the truck. But I mean, you know, the back seat, it's still factory. There's that hasn't been recovered. It's got some little, like, it's almost like some glue stuff kind of stuck here and there on right around in this neighborhood. I'm gonna try to get that off here for long. But I mean, headliner, it's not sagging. The visors, yeah, they're sagging. They all do that, but they're all still there. That's the important part. They're there, so that can be recovered. The dash, there's no cracks. You know, everything's factory. And then there's the mileage, 136, 140. Since I put a fresh tank of gas in it, I put 35 miles on it. I probably drove it 10 miles prior to filling it up, so I probably only put 45 or 50 miles on this truck. But yeah, ridiculous. Oh, one of my favorite things. This is something they definitely need to bring back because I have enjoyed this thoroughly while I've been driving the truck. It's got the good old ball cooler. You just open that turkey up and give yourself a nice little crotch shot of cold air, because yeah, the air conditioning works very, very well. So yeah, it's got a good old ball chiller in it and everything. So but everything works. Cruise works. The horn works. I mean, everything's working on this guy. So oops, I set off the neighbor's dog alarm. So that's the interior, just kind of touching on a few things. Oh yeah, power driver's seat. Not that really matters. I don't really care for I don't care for all the little power options. Power windows, yeah, that's nice. But air conditioning, and it's comfortable, that's all that really matters. So oh yeah, here we go, closing the door. Yeah. So now I did just wash this thing, but I didn't do anything under the hood. All I did was just wash the outside because I'm getting ready to do, you know, wet sanding and stuff like that. So here's under the hood. Again, probably gonna make some of y'all jealous. Yeah, she's clean. So while I was underneath here the other day, just looking at it once it got delivered, I was noticing, I was like, oh, we got a new upper radiator hose. Oh, that's a replacement AC compressor. It's a replacement alternator. It's a new battery and everything on it. AC Delco, AC Delco, AC Delco, and AC Delco. I hadn't even looked at the lower hose to see if it's been replaced, but if I had to guess, it probably has. Yeah, so the original owner religiously took this thing to the dealership and had it serviced. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. So like I said, I'm beyond tickled. This thing is everything I was hoping for and more. Like I said, it's got brand new tires. Everything runs and drives out great. The steering does have a little play in it, but you know, it's a GM, they all have play. It feels like maybe a tie rod end probably needs to be replaced, but I'm gonna get this guy in the shop here in a little bit, and we're gonna check some of the stuff up underneath it. We'll even climb up underneath it real quick once I get it in the shop, and just kind of crawl around, show you the underside of this truck. Like I said, there is a couple oil leaks, one on the front of the motor, one on the back of the motor, probably rear main, and probably the front seal. It's not really bad. So but, you know, typical GM stuff. So one of the other things I've noticed while walking around on this guy is I do have a little dent here in the front bumper. He hit something and it bent the tow hook. A buddy at work said it looked like it might have bent the frame or the frame horn. I don't know. I literally haven't been under that part of it or paid any attention to it. So we'll look at that too. So when this thing got delivered, it was on a 3-car trailer, probably what you saw in the thumbnail. which afforded me the ability to go up underneath the truck and walk around and look. And I even took a quick little video. I'll throw that up here real quick. But this thing's just dry. It's so good. So I think the guys in Missouri at that I guess it's a wreck lot. They take a bunch, they buy a bunch of wrecked and repairables. They're the ones that put the spray and liner in it. It also had a toolbox in it at one point, because that was in one of the pictures, and then it was not. Yeah, it was Linexed in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, state of misery. Sorry if you're from Missouri. I've just never had any really good times there, so you know. Anyways, yeah, I think they're the ones that, or they're definitely the ones that did the spray and liner, and I'm curious if they're the ones that put the new tires on it, because I think they may have been driving this guy, because the just following it through Carfax, it was showing like 132,000 miles, and then whenever it got delivered to me, it had 136. So I think they put, you know, probably 3,000 to 4,000 miles on it, driving it around, doing whatever. So oh yeah, I almost forgot. One of the coolest things about this being a 98 is it's got the third door option. Oh yeah, that's right, high cotton over here. So but it's still got the factory jack and tools. Everything's there where it should be. I mean, it's really kind of ridiculous, because everything's here, everything's right. So anyhow, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this purchase. Let's head inside where it's not quite as hot or bright. So anyhow, yeah, that was a gamble. I'll admit it. I was gambling with, like I said, my budget was between 10 and 12. I don't really want to say how much I paid for the truck, because I don't want to make some people upset. Let's just say, well, we'll just say I paid what was fair. I paid less than what was fair for the truck. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it was a pretty big gamble, because I was going by pictures and the word of a you know, dealership, so to speak. So and you know, no offense to anybody who's a car dealer, but typically you don't trust those guys. So but everything I was seeing, everything that guy was telling me, everything panned out, everything was right. Looking at the Carfax stuff, everything was there. It was really good. So I was fairly comfortable with taking the risk for the money that I was throwing out for that truck, because I basically had to send them all the money for the truck, and then pay for shipping to get it shipped to me, because I didn't have anything I was really comfortable with driving out to Missouri to pick it up. So pretty good sized gamble. But I think it paid off very well. So anyhow, I've got Steve just still in the same predicament he was in before, just kind of hanging out here. The battery's actually taking a charge and is not discharging, so I'm not sure what the draw was. I'm wondering if my ignition switch just wasn't rolled all the way off and it left the amp running. That's probably enough to do it. So so he's still holding charge. I've checked it multiple times. It's where it should be. Everything's good there. So I've got oh man, that air conditioner feels so good. So I've got to get Steve out of the shop and get the new daily into the shop, and I don't have a name for the new daily just yet. Right now I'm just calling it the daily, or my pawpaw truck, because you know, it's kind of a grandpa truck that you don't really want to do anything to. You just want to drive it. So anyhow, let me get Steve out of here, and we'll get the daily in, and we'll slide up underneath it and take a peek at the underside, and I guess take a look at the clear coat on the hood, see what we can't do there. So all right, I'll be back in a few minutes. right, here we are under the truck, and you can see we got a little glistening on the pan. You know, like I said, rear main seal's probably leaking. Could be the oil pressure sending unit, those leak too. But I mean, it's ridiculous. Look at this. It's just clean. Let's move the light down so you can see back here. But I mean, yeah, yeah. It's really clean. This is passenger side, right there at the door sill. Here's our rockers, you know, here's our cab corners. I mean, yeah, California truck, you would expect. You wouldn't expect anything different. So the truck does need shocks. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I did go ahead and order some Bilsteins for it. I know factory GM used Bilsteins on the Z71s. These are not the factory type shocks. Those you can only get from GM. But Bilstein has a comparable version available, and I think I bought them off of eBay. They weren't cheap, but they weren't like, you know, King shocks expensive either. So, yeah, so it will get a new set of shocks on it. I don't know what it's got on it right now. I'm not sure what these shocks are, but like that one's had something hit it pretty hard because it's dented the body. But these are definitely they've been on here for a minute. They got red boots. The Bilsteins would have had blue boots on it. So I'm trying to see if I can see a name. Yeah, those are Ranchos. Yeah. So that's a Rancho shock. So it had some Ranchos put on it. I don't know what model, but they're definitely tired. So those are going to get swapped out front and rear with some nice Bilsteins. So oh, it looks like my pinion seal may be leaking a little bit. See how it's kind of wet-ish looking.
Moist.
It's not wet, but it is wet looking.
Moist.
So that pinion seal may need to come out and get swapped. But so you can also see the dual exhaust on it, which I'm really glad that what muffler? This is a Flowmaster. It's got a little hole trying to work in it right here. Something hit it. It looks like I got drug on something there. But this is a Flowmaster muffler, a 2 in, 2 out. And I thought this thing was single into a double, but no, there's my input, there's my output, and then I just chased the exhaust pipes all the way up, and it does cross over up front up there, but it still maintains a single individual pipe for both sides. It's only like 2 inch, so that's kind of crappy. Maybe we can improve on that. I don't know. We'll see. So the truck has a nice tone to it. It's not obnoxious. It doesn't drone. It's actually it's a well put together exhaust. Truly old man exhaust. Gives you them dual tips, but you can still hear yourself think inside. So I was joking with a buddy of mine at work. I was just like, you know what I'm going to do? I was just like, I think I'm going to raise the front, and I'm not going to touch the rear. That way it's squatted. And then I'm going to get one of those exhaust pipes that's like that big around and have 2 of them sticking out the back. I'm going to cut the mufflers off, and we're going to go straight pipes. Yeah, we're going to do that. It is Pride Month. So, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I just want to keep this thing fairly stock. Mainly because it's a good truck, and it's going to be a driver. That's all I'm wanting to do with it. I'm not wanting to do anything other than just drive it. Now, that being said, yes, I do plan on just driving it. I do plan on taking it to some shows though, because it's neat and it's really pretty. It's by far the prettiest vehicle I have in the fleet. But I do plan on taking it to a couple shows. It is going to be at the Southeastern Truck Nationals. which if you're interested in going to that, the time is getting away from you to purchase a ticket. It's pre-register only. You can't register day of show. Now, if you want to be a spectator, totally fine. Spectators, pay day of show, whatever, that's fine. But if you want to enter your vehicle, you can't do it day of show. You have to be pre-registered. I don't know when that's going to cut off. The show is July 12th and 13th in Lebanon, Tennessee at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. It's always a great show. Last year there was, I don't remember the number. I'm pretty sure I did a video on it. It might have the numbers on that video, but it was right around 1,700, maybe a little bit more. GM only trucks. That's all it is, GM trucks. Around about 1,700 trucks showed up. It was insane. It's a 2-day show. It's a great time. It's a very family-friendly event, but it's always a great show. Ton of food trucks, ton of vendor stuff. It's a really good time. You can see a lot of trucks from a lot of different areas. I know I'm taking the New Daily. I'm gonna probably, I guess I'm taking Steve because Little John's parked. I can't drive Little John. That oil leak is so bad. So Little John unfortunately will not be there. And then I'll definitely be taking Big John. So I gotta get my button gear and get stuff ready to go for the show. Since I haven't done any show prep for any of the vehicles, and they both really need stuff. So Steve and Little John need stuff. Big John, not Little John. There's too many trucks. So yes, I'm taking 3. I know our little group, we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 trucks. And we always set up in this one pavilion way in the back. Actually, where we generally set up is right next to the swap meet. It's a giant pavilion right next to the swap meet. Anyways, so that's where we're going to be. But if you'd like to go, check out the description. I got a link down below. It's I believe it's gmtruckshow.com. I'll double check that and post the link down in the description. Right now, since now we're getting close to showtime, the price was $50 to pre-register. Now it's $60. Brian put out a thing saying, hey, you're getting close. I got to send a priority mail so you can actually have your registration before the day of the show. So $60 to pre-register. I don't know what the take rate is on that this year. I don't know how many trucks he's got registered so far, but I know he generally fills it up. So I would expect somewhere between 16 and 1,800 trucks because he cuts it at 1,800. So it's always a good time. I enjoy meeting people and talking to folks. If you're a viewer and you want to come by and say hi, swing by, say hi. I'll throw a little thing up on one of my social medias or all of them and kind of put a little X where we are, probably day of or the day before the show, somewhere in that neighborhood. So y'all guys can swing by and say, hey, whatever. I got stickers. I'll give you a sticker if you want. So let me get my sandpaper and some water and a rag. And I'm probably going to use a block, because if I go doing this with hands only where it's actually popped, I'm going to end up sanding the blue out, and I don't want to do that. So let me I've got some blocks, so I can do a block on this, and I think we'll start, tell you what, least amount of impact. We'll start like right here or up here in this corner. Let's do this corner. We'll do this little corner, and if this turns out okay, then we'll continue on. If this doesn't turn out okay, then we'll stop. So, all right, let me get my crap together. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what we can't do here. I'm gonna get that guy a little bit wet. And I'm gonna use a block. I'm not familiar with using these blocks. First time I'm doing it, but let's just give her a shot and see what happens. And I'm using 1500 grit. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go freehand. This is just a little test spot, so we'll go freehand on it. See how she turns out. Lord have mercy. All right. right, so primarily working this little section here. So let's wipe that down, dry it off, see what she looks like. So definitely feathered the edge out really good, but here's where we're gonna have a problem. Let's get y'all in here a little tighter. How's that sound? Yeah, there we go. All right, so this part right here is what I worked on, and it definitely feathered that edge out pretty good. There's still a little ridge there. I could probably work that a little bit more, but here's where the issue is. You can still see where it's really white along this edge, and I primarily did this little section right here just as my little test bed. It's still pretty white, so in order to make this not just look white but with clear on top of it, I've got to take all the clear off. This paint, they've worked on it, I'm guessing wet sanded and buffed on it, and this paint is very thin on the hood. So my fear is I get to going on here and sanding some more and doing some more of this stuff on the hood. My fear is I'm going to get through the paint down into the primer, and that's really not the look that I'm wanting to do on this truck. I'm wanting this truck to be nice. I'm not going for a patina look. I'm not going for any of that stuff. I want this one to look really nice. So I think, God, I hate it, because I was really hoping I could use the Poppy's Patina Wipe On Clear to seal all this up and blend this clear in. But since it's milked up, there's no fixing this. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to sand down the hood and paint it. So I think what I'm gonna end up having to do, and God, I hate it, I don't want to do it this way, I think I'm gonna have to take the hood back down and sand it. You know, take the hood off, sand it all down, feather everything out, because yeah, I was able to get that to look like this, but this is still gonna look, hang on, we'll grab some water out of the bucket here. So you can see what it looks like there. You can see what it looked like before. Well, I throw a little water on it. That's what it's going to look like with the clear coat on it. It looks a little bit better, but if you look at, I've got to be just meticulously careful along all of this. And then I've got this huge section here, and then even bigger section here that I've got to get that clear all the way off. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do that and not get into the color and take it down to like primer and really make it start looking rough. So I think the best move is going to be to order some of this paint, which, if I remember correctly, it's either indigo blue or admiral blue. I can't remember which. I want to say it's indigo. It may be indigo. But order some more of this paint. I did order some touch-up paint, but I can actually order like a quart or a pint of this paint. And then I can sand this guy down. I can prime it. I can paint it. I can clear it, and it'll look brand spanking new and look really good. The roof, not so much of a big deal up there. I can actually see where the clear is bubbling and popping. I'm wondering if it's been shot before. You know, being a California truck, it's sitting out in the sun baking. So I'm wondering if the hood and the roof have been shot before and they didn't get the clear just right. Because I'm looking at this clear where it's milking up and it's kind of cloudy and hazy right along the edge up here. Maybe, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I can't find any evidence of overspray, which is fine for the hood because they could have repainted the hood off the truck and then put it on the truck. But I haven't seen any evidence of overspray for the roof. I don't see any tape lines. I literally don't see anything that tells me this thing's had a lick of paint work done on it. To be honest, if I'm going to go ahead and respray the hood, I might as well respray the roof. I mean, it's there. Might as well do it. And then I can address, there is this little spot right here. That's the only rust on the truck. So so I can address that and you know, get it cleaned up pretty good, try to get that, keep that from spreading and rotting out the windshield channel. And then now I got a water leak, and now the truck still's moldy, and don't deal with all that. So that may be what I don't know. Maybe I'll take it to a shop. I don't really want to pay somebody the amount of money they're probably going to want to charge to sand and paint a hood and a roof. Probably just do it myself. I don't know. I'm going to think on it. that's what I'm getting at. I'm going to think about it. So back off. But anyways, that's unfortunate. I was really hoping this weekend I could get this hood sorted out and make it shine really, really nice. But yeah, this clear's kind of got me hosed up over here. So anyways, I guess I'm going to wrap this one up right there. You know, it's kind of a bust, but hey, new truck. Super excited about this thing. Yeah, I'm going to chew on this, except for the hood. I want to chew on this paint on the hood for a little bit. Not actually, just I'm going to think about it. Mentally, I'll chew on it. So I'm going to chew on that for a little bit, figure out exactly what I'm going to do there. Start pricing some stuff, figure out, you know, how much it's going to cost to take it somewhere and just say, here, fix it, so I can work on other stuff, or how much it'll cost for me to do it. I know it'll be cheaper for me to do it, but the question there is, do I have the time? That's the big question. So anyhow, I'll get back to y'all on that, let you know how it turns out. But if y'all guys are interested in going to the Southeastern Truck Nationals, I don't know how much admission is for just spectators. I know kids under a certain age get in free. I can't remember what that age range is. It's all on their website. And that link is down in the description, as is my social media stuff. So if you want to follow me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, I have a Twitter. I never use a Twitter because, frankly, I hate Twitter. So, or X, whatever they call it now. That's how much I hate it. I don't even call it by its new name. So, but y'all can follow me on that. I don't post a whole lot of stuff, but I do occasionally. And if you wouldn't mind, if you like the video, be sure and hit the like button for me. And then if you've made it to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed, please just hit the subscribe button, folks. It don't cost nothing. All it does is help grow the channel. It just makes YouTube go, oh, this guy's, you know, bringing on more subscribers. So, you know, they'll promote the channel out a little bit more. And it just helps the channel to grow, which in turn helps to kind of offset a little bit of the cost here. Not that I make a lot of money here on YouTube. I don't. It's not even a cup of coffee a day worth of money. It's not even a tank of gas a month worth of money. So it's not a lot. But the more the channel grows, the more I can actually earn off of it, which will help to offset some of the costs of these parts and tools that I'm constantly buying. That would be super nice, and I would appreciate it. Maybe eventually I'll start offering some merchandise. I'm still working on that. I was hoping to do it this summer, but I just don't know if I'm quite there yet. So anyhow, I do appreciate it. Like I said, if you like the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It helps. If you got any questions, comments. If you got any questions or comments or concerns, drop them down below. I read all of them. May not get back to you immediately if you actually ask a question, but I will read it. I'll think on it, and I'll answer you eventually. I'm usually pretty quick on those, so I wouldn't expect it to take too terribly long. But anyways, I do appreciate it, folks, and look forward to seeing y'all guys next week. And then next week we'll probably do a little bit more stuff on the new daily, shocks, some other stuff. We'll get into that next week. So anyways, I appreciate it, and we'll see y'all guys next time. Just remember, folks, ain't got to be perfect. She may look perfect, but it's not perfect. But it is good enough. Y'all guys have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.